C++,
Yes.
Python,
Yes.
SQL,
Yes.
Congratulations, you have been hired as an assistant system engineer trainee. Here's your offer letter.
Thanks a lot. And my salary?
Would be 3.6 lakhs per annum.
Don't you think with my skill sets I should be getting like way more?
You think we're Google? We pay our talent their market rates. The offer letter is ready. Take it or leave it.
Thank you. I accept the offer.
Happy to have you in our family. Next.
Do Google employees really deserve more money than TCS employees? Why are some engineers called talent and some labor? And how can you command your desired salary in your IT job? My name is Lavina Kamath, and here's the full disclosure. Google and TCS, one that supposedly hires talent and pays them 16 to 25 lakhs per annum even at the entry level, and the other that hires cheap labor and pays them market rates of 3.36 lakhs per annum. For decades at this point. Google, by the way, operates at a market cap of $2.02 trillion and TCS operates at a market cap of 15.8 trillion rupees or $200 billion. Google is part of the MAANG companies or the Big Five. Don't ask me why Netflix is part of the MAANG and why Microsoft isn't. Maybe they didn't like the acronym MAMA. Like the MAANG, TCS is part of an Indian umbrella of companies called the Which. Earlier, Cognizant used to be part of the Which back when the acronym made sense. Then the acronym authority decided to remove Cognizant and add Tech Mahindra, and it hasn't made sense since. Anyways, together, the Which has a total market cap of 28.44 lakh crore. And still, their freshers receive salaries of less than 4 lakhs per annum. That is after charging the client 35 lakhs per year for them. And it's not even the fact that they hire lesser skilled folks so they can get away with paying them less. It's more the fact that they run their business in a fundamentally different way and a fundamentally different space. And that controls who they hire and for how much. First, the fundamentally different way. Let me take you through their employee counts. Google, with $2.02 trillion in market cap, employs 1.8 lakh people, while TCS, with a market cap of 15.8 trillion, employs 6.5 lakh people. TCS has a much better ratio here, even after employing almost 4 times the employees. But when you count for purchase power parity, it falls short by half. Now let me take you through their revenues, which might be more relevant. TCS ended 2023 to 24 with a revenue of $29.1 billion, while Google clocked a revenue of $305 billion. That's 10 times the revenue of TCS with 1/4 the employee count, a per employee spending capacity of over 40 times that of TCS. Each employee of Google is able to bring back on an average $1.6 billion or 14.05 crore rupees back to Google. On the other hand, a TCS TCS employee is able to bring back only 39 lakh rupees to the company, 35 lakhs from which is what they charge for the most junior resource anyway. A TCS fresher, even the lowest band TCS Ninja, receives 1/10 the money TCS makes on an average per employee, whereas a Google fresher in India takes home 1/100th of the money that they can make per employee. So that is the fundamentally different way. Google is about quality, TCS is about quantity. Google runs its business in a way where employees are assigned to few high-quality projects that can bring higher revenues. TCS, on the other hand, takes the maximalist route and hires as many engineers as it can. It then deploys them to many low-stake projects and books low margins from many projects. But so what? They're still able to bring back 39 lakh rupees every year, right? That's not less either. So why do they receive only 1/10 of it? Because of the fundamentally different space. TCS operates on much lower margins than Google. Though Google and TCS are both tech companies, Google or the MAANG in general are product-based, where TCS or the which companies are service-based. Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Google Search, YouTube, Amazon Prime, iPhone, iPad, and the Netflix shows are all products. And the way you can scale a product does not even compare to a service. The talent that works in the MAANG or any product-based company works on in-house products, from developing new features to building infrastructures to running and maintaining the apps and websites. Once the product is up and running, it can attract multiple customers in a one-to-many transaction. The which, however, can sell their service only once in a one-to-one transaction. TCS or Infosys don't have products of their own. Instead, they onboard clients who've outsourced a part of their maintenance or development to them. For example, let's say an HDFC that does not have the in-house capability or bandwidth to develop and maintain a digital platform for themselves. They will look to TCS or Wipro to do that for them, and in turn, TCS or Wipro will charge a service fee to them. Google Talent is tasked with making products and infrastructures that can be used multiple times, like Google Ads, which alone contributed to $237 billion to their revenue last year. On the other hand, TCS employees are asked to do manual, repetitive tasks for their clients. So it's not so much as the skill sets of the candidates, it's more about the way these companies have to run their businesses. Despite generating 39 lakhs per employee, the employee receives just 1/10 because of the operating margin for TCS, which is just 24.1%. Whereas a Google fresher who earns 25 LPA, which is the highest band for a fresher, actually receives only 1/50th of their potential to the company and still remains paid much higher than their TCS counterparts because of the crazy margins they create for the company. And that margin affects the way the companies see their employees and the use case their employees have for them. One sees them as talent, the other sees them as labor. Let me make it clear that talent and labor are not industry terms. Nobody really refers to the hirees as such, but this is more about the perception the companies hold of the candidates while hiring them. And I want to use these terms to hammer home the difference between these two perceived groups. Okay, so talent and labor. The distinction between the two here is the kind of job you're expected to do. Just like a product is considered unique, the tech talent required to develop the product is considered unique. There are thousands of folks who can scrape data off the net, but there are maybe only 10 who will be able to code a potentially multi-million-dollar app end to end. And just like a service is considered non-unique, the engineer hired to service the contract is also considered non-unique. India produces 15 lakh engineers every year, and of the 45% of them that are actually employable, most of them fall in this category. When a company is looking to onboard a TCS or Infosys to service them, they're usually offloading work that they don't want to bother with themselves. For them, it is cheaper to outsource than to hire in-house. So their mindset and priorities are very different when they approach these service tech companies. The contract goes to the service tech that is able to offer more manpower at a cheaper rate. Unlike product firms, they're not looking for the best talent for their product. They're looking for the cheapest resource with basic skills to fill the gap. At the core, it all comes back to the basic supply-demand funda. Whatever is in high supply or low in demand will have to settle for a lower price. And whatever is in low supply and high demand is always more valuable. At least that's what the law of the free market says. Let me explain this with a graph. Consider the x-axis to be the salary that a given engineer receives or can demand, and the y-axis would then be the number of engineers available. Before I draw the supply and demand lines, a key point to understand is the expectations of the industry with the engineers they want to hire. These demand parameters could be technical know-how, communication skills, experience with a particular language like SQL, Python, and so on. The more demand parameters you can satisfy, the higher the salary you can demand. But as you can see, the number of skills has no cap, and neither does this line, and so it can theoretically go to infinity. But companies aren't going to pay for all the skills you have. They will just be paying for the ones that are relevant to them. Yes, you could be a full stack developer who also knows UI UX, has a PhD in particle physics, and can juggle 2 bowling balls and an apple at the same time. But the company has no use for your other skills, and that defines the supply line. Google would love for you to be a jack of all trades, but TCS would only require you to be a master of one, and then they will pay you for that one. So let me draw the supply line. If you can fulfill one demand criteria, let's say SQL, logic says that there will be quite a few like you who also fulfill them. Lower the entry threshold, more the number of people who can enter. But if you're someone who can fulfill 4 or 5 demand criteria, it will definitely be rare for the company to find someone like you. So the supply line will look something like this, where lower the number of skills, higher the number of candidates, and vice versa. The intersection of these lines determine the salary you will get, provided you meet the demand criteria. If you lag behind the industry expectations in terms of skills, you'll find yourself placed somewhere here on the line. Unplaced, unemployed, in economic terms, you are now a surplus. What you want to create for yourself is a shortage. If you're a resource which is in short supply and high on demand, you get to hold the negotiating power. The supply and demand lines, even though theoretical, are not set in stone. What I mean by that is that these lines keep moving up and down and left and right as per the market conditions. For example, when the IT revolution happened, it suddenly created a surge in demand for computer engineers. To fulfill that demand, new colleges cropped up and old institutes introduced computer engineering in their curriculum. The demand for talent was met and then some. These early computer engineers were revered and paid handsomely. But then the supply outran the demand and the market had to correct itself. The same talent now became labor to the companies. The market correction always lacks the stimulus that created it. And then we had a situation where we had more computer engineers than engineering jobs. The most recent revolution now is AI, but this revolution is touted to take jobs instead, in turn reducing demand, moving the line leftwards. How fair is that assessment? Only time will tell. But the effects of the correction have already begun, and it's time for you to adapt now or get left behind. And not to scare you or anything, but it is time you ask yourself this question. Are you a talent which is irreplaceable, unique, and gets paid to think, or labor which is expected to do similar repetitive tasks? These are the jobs that run the most risk of becoming redundant because of AI. Because AI can't think like a human yet, but it most definitely can automate repetitive tasks with very little error rates. Remember, talent is paid to think and adapt, and labor is expected to follow and execute. So in the end, it becomes a task for you to understand the supply-demand equation of the industry. Understand the demand, become the supply, and your dream salaries will follow. My name is Lavina Kamath, and this was your full disclosure. My team is forcing me to say this in Hindi. Video pasand aaya to subscribe karna.